faced different electromagnetic disruptions, not because they're not made available, but because of the political alignments which our colleagues have talked about. So this is the time in which Pakistan actually focused on relying on space-based assets which were in Pakistan's communication reach during the conflict. Now please, if you look at it, it was UAV systems which provided around 0.3 millimeters ground sampling coverage, satellite assets which provided around 0.5 millimeters resolution, and ground sensors which allowed for 150 kilometers range of electronic signatures. Please move forward. So in short, we were looking at a four-dimensional process where we were looking at sensor integration, tactical execution, unit-level missions planning and target engagement, operational control, theater-wide coordination and resource allocation, and last but not least, a national-level decision that we will be engaging these targets at will and at time. The most remarkable part of this was that Pakistan maintained communication survivability at 99.7%, which is even higher than the NATO standards. So this basically meant that your operations were not disrupted by enemy operations, enemy electromagnetic pulses, or their counteroffensive, while you were able to disrupt their communications, have access to their battlefield communications in addition to targets and how they were talking to each other. So in short, red light, which could have technically allowed your missions to abort, was replaced with redundant satellite communication links which ensured continuous connectivity even in contested electromagnetic zones. It is believed that the system processed over 10,000 intelligence reports daily and automatically prioritized information based on operational relevance and time sensitivity. We can say that what Pakistan achieved during Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous showed Pakistan's integration of advanced weapon systems with real-time targeting data, creating an unprecedented level of accuracy and effectiveness in air-delivered ordnance. The operation demonstrated how modern guidance technology could be leveraged to achieve strategic objectives while maintaining minimum collateral damage. We used precision-guided munitions, GPS-guided bombs, and missiles with accuracy within 3 meters of intended targets, laser-guided systems, terminal guidance systems, providing real-time course corrections during weapons flight, allowing engagement of mobile targets and time-sensitive objectives. And last but not least, directed energy weapons and electronic warfare systems capable of disrupting enemy communications and air defense systems without kinetic destruction. This means multiple technologies were used during this operation, and in short, the weapon selection criteria became critical. How you used your platforms, how you engaged them, became the decisive edge in terms of how JF-17 was used, how your impact assessment was done. The most interesting thing is this, which is perhaps unmatched in any other country than NATO, which has been done by a country of the South, and that has been the battle damage assessment capability. Traditionally, battle damage assessment capability, and I'm sure the military commanders will correct me, usually is based on multi-source information. But it is also, in today's time, based on technology. So what was Pakistan's battle damage assessment capability time lag? It is amazing to know that it ranged only between 1 to 15 minutes. So impact assessment, initial weapon impact evaluation through sensor data analysis within 30 seconds of the detonation. That is the first assessment which you got. Second was damage verification, multi-source confirmation of target destruction through imagery and satellite and signals intelligence within 5 minutes. Number 3, mission adaptation. Automatic retargeting algorithms redirected follow-on strikes based on battle damage assessment, resulting within 10 minutes. And number 4, strategic assessment. Comprehensive operational impact evaluation completed within 60 minutes for a strategic decision making. Do we continue? Do we stop? Have we achieved our objectives or not? So it is unprecedented that you will have a country which fought a superior enemy, bigger enemy, more advanced, multiple systems, and you are able to have full battlefield visibility and a damage assessment within the first 15 minutes of the operations. In short, we can say that target destruction, successfully neutralizing 47 of 50 priority targets within the first 72 hours, was the actual acme of Bunyan-ul-Marsous. And it doesn't mean just the air, it also meant land-based target acquisitions and also some which were based in the intelligence domain. 15 command and control facilities, 12 air defense installations, 20 military logistics centers. Number two, another victory which Bunyan-ul-Marsous showed, which is also unprecedented in modern warfare, that is force protection. That basically meant zero aircraft losses. Despite operating in heavily defended airspace, demonstrating superiority of precision strikes. The strikes of the aircrafts in the hangars do not count in the same sense because these are not considered as operational casualties. They may be considered as logistics or might have some other elements. So complete mission completion and no pilot casualties. This is another victory which distinguishes Pakistan's military prowess in terms of what happened in Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous. And minimal exposure time. You did not expose your pilots, your systems for a protracted long warfare. Yes, everybody can see what Pakistan has. Yes, we had the biggest air battlefield in the world, lasting more than 60 minutes. But what's interesting is that it came around with a minimum exposure time. And last but not least, operational speed. Number one, rapid decision making. Number two, coordinated strikes. Number three, minimum warning time. And most importantly, it was done through a scientific level. So I'm going to conclude in terms of what are the takeaways from Operational Bunyan-ul-Marsous. What is the future? Why Pakistan seems to be respected suddenly? Why the professional academy of Pakistani Armed Forces, Pakistani Air Force, and Pakistani's decision-making has taken a new lease after Operational Bunyan-ul-Marsous. Number one, it has become a prelude to doctrinal evolution. Military academies right now, worldwide, are studying the operation as a case study in integrated warfare, fundamentally altering how air warfare and how land warfare is integrated to come with a seamless projection of power in an actual battlefield which is not fought by one enemy but by multiple enemies. Number two, it has preceded international standards. NATO and other military alliances have adapted similar kill chain methodologies to their operational planning processes, but it is the first time where a country with less resources was able to execute, perform, and out-deliver all of its strategic military objectives. And number three is, of course, training re-evaluation. If you're looking at battlefield and a war which can be fought from 30 seconds to 15 minutes, then it means that your training standards and your training programs also have to be rewritten. And it is iconic that I stand here in the Information Academy, the hallmark of training our future strategists in terms of information operations, which also became critical. I was hard positioned to go for information operations or to talk about this, but then I chose hard for military subject because I thought that might be of some interest. And last but not least, strategic planning. Military planners have now prioritized information superiority and decision speed over traditional mass-based approaches. So if you're able to have speed and you have information dominance, then you might be able to change the outcome of war despite the fact that you might be numerically less in number. This has been one of the major outcomes of Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous. Last but not least, I will conclude on the fact that perhaps most significantly, Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous demonstrated that smaller military forces could achieve strategic objectives against larger adversaries through technological superiority and tactical innovation once positioned with the overall understanding of our strategic objectives during war, pre-war, and post-war. Last but not least, the operation's success in achieving political objectives through limited military action has influenced diplomatic and conflict resolution approaches, demonstrating that precisely applied military pressure can achieve strategic goals without escalatory risk associated with long, prolonged, and protracted campaigns. So, ladies and gentlemen, Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous is not a new example, but it is a definitive example where a smaller country has achieved all because it managed to think fresh, adapt technologies, integrate systems, but most importantly, deliver on multiple fronts. That means what we all call that war is a continuation of politics, and that is what was seen in Bunyan-ul-Marsous, and we hope that our Indian friends learn something from it. Unfortunately, the saga of Bunyan-ul-Marsous may not end because our adversaries on the other side continue to believe that mass technological development can outrun a better use of technology, tactics, and most importantly, brilliance on the battlefield. But what we have seen looking at the deeper analysis of the Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsous is that it is always the strategy, the man behind the gun, and the execution on the battlefield of your weapon systems and your response time and your target engagement processes which will determine the outcome. So with this, I thank you all for your patience.